Wow.
Welcome to Robertson County.
Well, thank you, sir. Pleasure to be here. It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful town you have here, and the people are so nice to me.
Thank you so much.
Robertson County, I'd like you to meet a very special visitor we had to the county this morning. His name was Raymond Thomas, and he was a lieutenant with the New York City Fire Department back on September 11th, 2001. Raymond Thomas was in town to present an actual piece of 9/11 steel from Ground Zero to Mitch and Dayna Lancaster of Carpet One on behalf of the Tunnel to Towers Foundation. The Tunnel to Towers Foundation builds smart homes for seriously wounded U.S. service personnel.
I feel such an attachment to the military, and the foundation does, was because on 9/11, I was sure that I was going to die. I was positive because we just kept getting reports of more planes coming, and finally a jet, U.S. Air Force jet, flew over Lower Manhattan very low, and it was a relief to me and everybody there working that, okay, the Calvary had arrived, that we could concentrate on what we had to do. We didn't have to worry about being hit with airplanes. So it's one of the reasons why and also I know a lot of young men and women join the military in order to avenge the murders that took place, the attack against our country. So a lot of young men and women joined just because of that. So that's why I feel such a deep attachment to the military. But what happened in Paris on Friday has shook me to the core. It's absolutely amazing. So I just want to apologize because I'm going to stutter now, and I cannot believe how upset I really am. Anyway, I just wanted to say that so that you can understand why my thoughts are all over the place. I'm usually much better than this. My name is Ray Thomas. I'm a recently retired lieutenant, New York City Fire Department. I served for close to 24 years when I was forced to retire about 11 months ago due to some lung issues that I developed from working down at the Trade Center. So the reason, okay, let me tell you a little bit. Again, I apologize. This is terrible. I don't write nothing down, so it's coming from my heart. This is just what I'm thinking and what I'm feeling right now this morning in Tennessee. The Stephen Siller Foundation is named after a firefighter who his story is very, very similar to my own. We were both off duty. He had worked the night tour and was off duty. He was going to play golf with his brothers. He has 6 or 7 brothers, Stephen Siller. They had raised him because his parents died when Stephen was about 8 years old. So his brothers raised him. So and they did a fine job. He was off duty as I was. I was in Manhattan, but way uptown, working my side job. He had just gotten off duty. He was going to play golf when the planes hit the towers. He was notified. He ran to his fire. He drove to his firehouse, got his gear, put it in his car, tried to get to Lower Manhattan where the towers were burning. And as I did the same thing. I tried to get down. I had a little more success than he did. But with my car, I got closer with my car is what I mean. He was forced to abandon his vehicle on the Brooklyn side of the Battery Tunnel, which is a tunnel that connects Brooklyn to Lower Manhattan. It's about 3.5 miles. So he just grabbed his gear, threw it on, and ran from Brooklyn to the Twin Towers. Unfortunately, Stephen was murdered that day, along with 343 other New York City firefighters. Everybody working in my company that day, Ladder 118, were murdered that day. I was lucky that I was off that day because it was a Tuesday. I never worked on Tuesdays. I was actually scheduled to work that day, but I never worked on Tuesdays and I never worked on Thursdays. We had an agreement, another firefighter and me, so it makes it a little bit easier to accept that I just never worked on Tuesdays. If it would have happened on Wednesdays, I wouldn't be here because I would have been working at the firehouse. So a lot of things like that kind of stick with you. So anyway, Stephen Siller, back to Stephen Siller. Stephen Siller was killed that day. He was murdered, and along with 3,000 other people in New York, and we all know the Pentagon and Pennsylvania. So his brother Frank, who was one of the brothers that didn't want his debt to be in vain, so he started the Stephen Siller Tunnel to Towers Foundation. In the beginning, it was started to help firemen and their families deal with this unprecedented tragedy and all kinds of things that you can't even think of, problems that had developed where people had 2 and 3 families, and there was a great need for money and for resources such as counselors and that. And Frank started the foundation in order to help the firemen and their family deal with this. As time passed, the need for the firefighters and their families waned, and Frank Siller, who runs the foundation, realized that there was now a great need for guys and girls coming back from wars in Iraq and Afghanistan who've been horribly maimed, missing limbs, quadruple amputees, which in past wars would have never survived. Now they're coming home, and they need places to live. So this Tunnel to Tower Foundation started a program called Building for America's Bravest, got in touch with Mohawk Industries and Carpet One. Mohawk Industries makes the carpets. They supply the carpets to these homes. Carpet One graciously is helping to raise the funds to do this. If you buy a carpet at Carpet One, they'll ask you if you'd like to make a $10 donation to help build these homes. They're very expensive because of the technology that's used in them. The cabinets are on hydraulics so that they'll actually lower for somebody sitting in a wheelchair so they can get a glass. It just lets these men and women live somewhat independent lives. They don't need to count on somebody for every little thing in order to get through the day. So the homes are by no means palaces. They're your regular 200 square foot homes, but they're expensive because of the technology. Also, they're built wherever the veteran wants to live. So if he wants to live in Tennessee, they'll build a home here. I saw one that they had built in Oklahoma. I saw one that they built in New York City and Staten Island. In Staten Island, it was very expensive because the land is expensive, so the price varies. But the charity itself is there's nobody drawing salaries. The people who run the foundation, it's all volunteer work, and it's amazing what like-minded people can do with the help of the foundation and Carpet One and Mohawk Industries. These homes are being built, and I think it's the least that I can do. When they asked me if I would like to take some time to come out here and do this, I'm a fireman. I'm not much of a politician. I don't generally talk in front of people, but they asked me to do this, and I just, how do you say no? I couldn't say no. Not that I wanted to say no. I said, yeah, okay, sure. I'm proud to be a part of this foundation. They're doing some fantastic work. So the reason why I'm here in Springfield, Tennessee this morning is to present Carpet One. This is a piece of steel from the World Trade Center. Hopefully you guys, your sales associates and everybody, when you look at this, you'll remember to ask the question, because if the associates don't ask, then the people can't say yes and they can't say no. So I know it's hard to do. You just spent time to sell somebody a whole bunch of carpet, and now you got to ask them for $10. I really do understand that, but maybe if you see this every day, it'll remind you of what it's being done for, and it'll give you a little extra courage, or whatever the right word is, to ask that question, because I believe most people would say yes. I don't know how you could say that. And if they say no, they say no. If they don't have the money, that's okay, but to ask is the important thing. I think I covered everything I'd like to. Let me present this to you, sir. Thank you. This is a great photo op. Where's the photographer guy? There he is. There we go. Let's do it like that.
There's no one within the sound of my voice that does not remember where they were, what they were doing at 8:03 a.m. Tuesday morning, September 11, 2001. The images of the plane hitting the second tower, the plane that went down in Shanksville, Pennsylvania, the attack at the Pentagon, and then the aftermath, this incredible event that is seared into our memories. Not unlike the Kennedy assassination generation before. I'm told by my mother, not unlike the reports when Pearl Harbor was attacked in 1941. We all remember that. We remember that because it stuck with us in a visceral way. That sense of despair, sadness, tragedy, and how vulnerable we were as a nation, and now we're seeing repeatedly again after the events in Paris last week how vulnerable we are as a world. But it's refreshing that we still take time out to remember and memorialize those that we lost, and to have Fireman Thomas come here from New York City and give to Carpet One, a piece of the World Trade Center, something that everyone can see when they come here. I think is a very fitting reminder, and indeed an everlasting memorial to the people who gave up everything to try to help those around them on that morning back in 2001. So very grateful to be able to represent Robertson County at this ceremony. It was a very moving ceremony, and we're grateful to Carpet One, and we're grateful to Fireman Thomas for coming here from the New York Fire Department to give this award.
So I'm not going to pretend to understand what you're feeling, especially in light of what you've been through and what's going on in Paris. But you know, what does this program mean to you personally?
I am so proud to be a part of the Siller Tunnel to Towers Foundation, because they're doing some great work, and it helps me to get a lot of this stuff out of me that I've been holding in for a very long time. So it's great to know that people still care, want to hear what my story was, and I'm proud to be a part of it, to be out here helping.
What would be your message to the folks in Paris that are dealing with that tragedy there?
This too shall pass, and people who you elect or lead you matter. Pay attention. Pay attention. Pay attention. That's, I can't. You don't really want me to say what the political correctness will be the death of us all.
Well, there you have it, Robertson County. As you can see, Raymond Thomas was a bit of a character. I know I enjoyed meeting him very much. The firefighters seemed to enjoy hearing his tales there. It was very generous of him to drive all the way down here from New York City in order to present Mitch and Dayna Lancaster there of Carpet One with a bit of the steel there from Ground Zero for their generosity to the Tunnel to Towers Foundation. I know they will certainly always cherish it, and it will always be on display if you would like to go on by and see it for yourself.
Full-time job, isn't it?
Somebody said that to me in one of my last times. I thought that was hilarious. That's exactly what I did.
If you'd like to make a donation to the Tunnel to Towers Foundation, you can of course do so at Carpet One there in Springfield, or if you're viewing this story on our main website, simply scroll down for more information on how to donate online. This has been Jim Ball reporting for Smokey Barn News in Springfield.
Welcome to American Tire.
When you think about American Tire, it's easy to think about a state-of-the-art facility with brand-name tires and service that you can trust. But did you know American Tire also offers wheel alignments, brake repair, water pump replacement, AC servicing, engine diagnostics, starters, alternators, tune-ups, axle repair, and even engine and transmission replacement. Our staff is not only friendly, but well-trained and ready to answer all of your questions. So when you need tires, come see us. But when that check engine light comes on, we're ready to help you there too. American Tire is conveniently located near the intersection of Tom Austin Highway and Memorial Boulevard behind the McDonald's.
For quality and service for over 50 years, that's the American way.